Welcome to the Quickstart webinar. When Stephen Nagy and Chris Naugle asked me to do this webinar, I said, "Well, what do you want? What's the goal? What do you want to accomplish with this?" And they said, "Education. We're just trying to educate the world that private money lending is an option for people and that private money lending exists." I thought that was pretty cool. So that's what we do. So every single Thursday at 1 o'clock Eastern time, we hop on and we practice. We practice private money lending fundamentals. We practice private money lending best practices. We talk about elevator pitches and things like this. And the whole idea here is education and staying sharp, staying on top of your game. Like, what do they say? Mastering your craft, sharpening the axe, whatever you want to call it. It's just practice, right? In business, in business and real estate, the same principles apply to sports or playing an instrument, right? Like, or speaking a language, right? We got my friend Nick on. Nick is fluent in Spanish, right? But if he doesn't practice, if he doesn't communicate and use his skill set, he might lose a step, right? So in private money lending, it's the same thing. We're just practicing our elevator pitches, practicing the talk, so that when the opportunity comes, we're ready. We're prepared. Imagine being able to tell a private money lender your elevator pitch, your business model, how you protect them, the documents that you use to keep them safe. Imagine being able to just rattle those things off as if you were telling someone your phone number, as if it were second nature. If we can just talk about these things so much that it just becomes part of our subconscious, when we're having conversations with people, it's just going to come natural, right? But it's going to take practice, and this is where we do it, right? It's in a cool community too here with Private Money Club, because we all have a lot, we're all looking for win-win. We're all looking for win-win. When you start having conversations with folks and maybe they're not involved in real estate, or maybe maybe they understand real estate, but maybe not the lending side of the business, or maybe they don't even know that private money lending is an option for them. It's going to sound Greek to them. It's going to sound, it's new. It's like, wait a minute, like I can do this. I can do this with a retirement account. Like, I've never heard of this before. So sometimes for people that are looking to build those relationships, it's an uphill battle, right? It's like, how many of you in the chat box right now know someone that would make a great private money lender, but they don't know it yet? Is that anybody? Is there anybody that's like, gosh, my friend, my family member, my coworker, they would, yeah, Stacy says yes, they would make a great private money lender, but they don't know it yet. That's an uphill battle, right, Stacy? Like, it's difficult. It can be difficult for a person to explain how it works, the benefits and things like that, if that person isn't familiar with what private money lending is. So when we're in the Private Money Club, I like to think that everyone knows what private money lending is, at least the gist of it, so that they're excited to hear these opportunities that we're presenting to them, right? So that's what we do. That's what we do. So hello everyone. What's up? Everyone's logging in. We still got 3 or 4 minutes. We start right at the top of the hour. This is the Quick Start webinar, brought to you by the Private Money Club. My name is Noah Harris. I'm going to be your host here today. I got a co-pilot here. Nick Lucas is also going to be joining us and giving us a tour of Private Money Club and the platform, and we're going to use this as a learning lesson. I can show you, or Nick's going to show you, give you a tour, and then I can talk about things that I've used personally in my real estate investing business within the Private Money Club that has resulted in building some great relationships with people and even funding some of my real estate deals, which is super cool. So, all right, cool. So in the chat box, just say hi, make sure it's working. What's up, Albert? Good morning from California. Albert says, I'm a lender. I love it. Right out of the gate, we got one private money lender saying hi. That's what it's all about. Where are these mystery people? Who are these private money lenders? Do they really exist? Is it just one big conspiracy theory that there's people out there that want to fund real estate deals? It's real. It's real. So say hi in the chat. Let us know where you're from. Any wins? Are we celebrating any wins? Is this chat box working? Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Oh, okay, cool. There we go. What's up, Darren? What's up, my man? Thanks for saying hi. All right, cool. We got some people on and climbing. Usually we have around 150 people at any given moment on these calls. So I can see everyone logging in. Hey, Tanya, how you doing? What's going on, Samuel, Stacy? What's up? Hey, Robert, good to see your name on here, my man. I haven't talked to you in a while. Hope everything is going good for you out there in California. All right. Hey, Adam. All right, cool. We got everybody rolling in here. That's good to see. So welcome to the Private Money Club Quick Start webinar. My name is Noah Harris. You can call me Coach Noah. I'm host this webinar every single Thursday at 1 o'clock. If you're brand new to this webinar, brand new to Private Money Club, type it in the chat box. Type it in the chat box. Let's see. All right, welcome everyone. If you've been here a bunch of times, let's welcome Andrew. Let's welcome Darren. Let's welcome Sam. What's up, guys? Hello, everybody. Good to see everyone. Good to see everyone. And then we'll do a roll call. We'll do a roll call too. Yeah. What's interesting is it seems like it's, I don't know about you, Nick. You've been on a couple of these calls, a bunch, and you're active in the community. Do you feel like it's 50% borrower, 50% lender? What do you think?
I'm thinking maybe a little on the heavier on the lender side, which is great for the borrowers. But I'll tell you what, there's never enough deals for the lenders, and never. So I mean, people bring the deals, bring them. I mean, you want money for your deals. It's here waiting for you.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree with that. Just from not this past. So I do a course for Private Money Club. It's called the Accelerator Program, guys. If you're tuning in for the first time, I did a course recently, and there was a borrower in there. I think it was like kind of like 40-60, 40% borrower, 60% lender. And one of my borrowers in there, just from our little group, which was like maybe 15 people that were on there regularly in that class, and he had, I don't like to use the word raised, but he'd had conversations with folks and was able to account for like over $450,000 in funding from the relationships that he got just from that one class, which was super cool for his real estate deals. What's up, Chris? Good to see everyone. Welcome to the Quick Start webinar. All right, cool. Here we go. 1 o'clock, guys. We've got an exciting guest speaker that I'm gonna bring up here on the screen momentarily. But before that, we're just gonna go through some of our normal roll call, see who we got, tell you what's going on within the Private Money Club, and then after Nick gives us a tour of the Private Money Club platform, if we have time, we'll practice our elevator pitches and make sure to answer any questions that you might have. If you're on this call right now and you are a person that's looking to use individuals, people to fund real estate deals, you're in the right place. If you're on this call and you are an individual who would like to put their money to work at a great rate of return, and when done properly, have those funds secured by real estate worth much more, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. This is what we hit every single week. So for those of you who have been on the call with me, you guys know this. Every single week, I always talk about how difficult this can be. I always try to talk about all the hurdles and the pitfalls, right, Nick, of what could go wrong in real estate. This is not a perfect business. Private money lending is not, it can be simple once the relationships are there, but there are absolutely documents that you need to know. There are absolutely questions that you need to ask. And there's things that you just got to check off on the boxes. And if you don't know what you don't know, sometimes you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. A big reason why I'm passionate about teaching this and hosting these types of webinars is because I've had people that have lost money, private money lending. I get emails all the time, Facebook messages, things like this. Noah, here's my situation. And I'm like, okay, well, did you get this, and this? No, I didn't think to do that. Okay, well, did you ask them this, and this? No, I didn't know to ask those questions. Did you talk about these things here? Man, I thought everything would be fine because it looks like they're doing great on Facebook. So I just sent them my money and I don't really have anything. And right, disaster, right? So there's absolutely a system. There's absolutely a process. And the more you learn, the more you earn, right? It's not just about learning how to do this the right way. It's if you learn how to do this stuff the right way, it can really keep you safe, right? So I'm speaking and teaching from the perspective of a real estate investor. I'm almost exclusive when it comes to using private lending to fund my real estate deals. I might use a more institutional type of lender if it's something that's long term, but for fix and flip projects, transactional funding, I'm private money all the way. That's the goal here, right? So I'm teaching from a real estate investor's perspective. However, I do recommend that everyone go out there and start building your team. Before you start having conversations with people about borrowing money or lending, who's your real estate attorney? Who's doing your closings? Who's your real estate agent? Who's your licensed contractor? Who's your home inspector? Who's your appraiser? All of these things really matter, right? And so when I'm teaching our accelerator courses for Private Money Club, the very first thing I have students do is to go out and build your team, because your team is not only going to help you with the credibility, right? You've gone out. I don't care if you've done one deal or 1,000 deals. You got to have a good team around you. Who's doing the work? Who's doing the paperwork, right? Not you. I hope not, right? So we got to make sure we got our team in place. So what's up, everybody? Welcome. Quick Start webinar. Here we go. Can you believe it, Nick? This is week 36.
Flying.
We have done this 36 times, almost in a row. We took off 4th of July. Other than that, 36 times we've been going hard, going strong. For those of you logging on to the call for the first time, my name is Noah Harris. I'm a real estate investor out of Columbia, South Carolina. Lots of times if I'm sharing case studies and doing, I'll talk about a company called Revive Homes LLC. That's my house flipping company, and that's been around since 2013. Our goal for everyone on this call is a 100% track record. 100% track record. If we can help you get what you need to have a clear path of how to take action, questions to ask, if we can empower people to make better decisions around lending and borrowing, oh man, it's totally worth it, right? Because this is relationship based. This is a relationship based type of loan opportunity. Yes, we care about the assets, we care about the values and things like this, but at the end of the day, we get to choose who we want to work with. Right? And if we can help one another achieve our goals, like borrowers make your profits flipping houses and in monthly cash flow, and lenders making interest on their money and having their money work for them, boom, that's what it's all about. It's relationship based, right? I also teach a course for the Private Money Club called the Accelerator Program. We have a new session that's kicking off that we'll talk about here shortly. But yeah, this is awesome. I love it. Stacy says, "Hey, I'm in the Bluffton, South Carolina area." Stacy, that is fantastic. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. My wife loves Bluffton. See, we're already making the relationship, right? Right, Stacy. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So here's the game plan. Every single Thursday on these calls, we start on time. We keep it real estate in Private Money Club. There's always different types of opportunities and people that they bring on, but it's primarily real estate within the platform. On this call here, we keep it real estate. Okay, so if you're in this space right now and you're looking to learn how to fund a fix and flip, a rental property, short term, mid-term, small apartment building, something like that, using private lending, you're in the right place. If you're in here because you just got IBC policy, funded through the money multiplier program, you've got a retirement you want to make sure is working for you, you got money parked on the sidelines, and you could be doing better than just putting it in the savings account, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. We're going to learn, right? If you have any questions at all, you need help enrolling in a class, you have a question about real estate, you have a question about Private Money Club, we have Nick Lucas from the Private Money Club team is actually going to be speaking today, and in the chat box, he just shared a link. So Nick is with me. Nick is with the PMC team. If you would like to schedule a call with Nick to learn more about Private Money Club, how it can help you in your business, just click the link there and set up a blueprint call with him, or you can visit our website, privatemoneyclub.com. If you have a specific real estate question, post it in the Q&A section, because lots of times the chat box just gets flowing so fast that I miss the questions. So if you have a question, post it in the Q&A. I'll check questions at 1:30 and at 2 o'clock before we get off the call. And of course, all experience levels are welcome. Inside Private Money Club, you'll see lots of new people just starting out the real estate investing business. Man, I'm jealous. Hey, Nick, are you jealous of the new folks?
I'm telling you, they've got a lot more resources than we ever did.
I mean, I don't really remember learning about private money until probably, I don't know, it was a while. Like it was always about hard money lenders.
Always about hard money.
Yeah, so when we started, private money lending wasn't as like popular, I feel. I mean, people did it. This isn't anything new. We're not reinventing the wheel or anything. Like, this was always an option, but it was never really talked about like it is now, or at least maybe because we're just around the Private Money Club so much, it just seems like crazy that we didn't use private money lenders back in the day.
I think a lot of people thought they were one and the same, but they are not.
Oh, I like this. Okay, so let's talk about this. This is a very good segue. So let's just look at that segue right there. Let that slide. So let me ask everyone in the chat box here, what do you think of when you hear private lender? What do you think of? Type it in the chat box. What do you think of? Because this is a good learning lesson for people that are on here for the first time, or even the people that have been on here routinely, because you're going to have these conversations with folks. Like when you start talking about private lending opportunities to family, friends, things like this, they're going to be scratching their head a little bit to figure out if this is right for them, right? So what do you think of? Chris says people. I like that. No banks or finance companies, right? Gina says higher interest rates. Yeah, could be, could be. Michael says people to people. I love it. Yeah, so when we're on this call and we're talking about private lenders, like Rachel says there, no banks, people. I'm referring to people. I'm referring to everyone that's on this call, in my mind, could be a private money lender, whether it's today or tomorrow, right? So we're not going into a bank and checking all of their boxes. Now, for those of you who become private money lenders or are private money lenders, it is still important that you think and act like a bank would think and act. It's important that you know the questions to ask that a bank would ask, right? So just like a bank is how you're going to start to think and act around these types of opportunities. We're not just going to lend money out without doing due diligence. A bank wouldn't do that, right? So neither should our lenders. But we're talking about working with people. I love being able to pick up the phone, call a lender, and have them excited to fund a real estate deal that needs to be closed right away. I could never do that at a traditional bank, right? Which is awesome. So Brian says small independent real estate loans offering quicker closes and less paperwork. Yeah, could be, absolutely. Once you find a good borrower or lender, the relationship becomes just like a bank with your own personal banker. All right, cool. I like that perspective. Creative, flexible, custom needs, probably a little bit more risk tolerant, but because there's a little more risk, maybe a little more expensive. Samuel said, yeah, absolutely. Not every deal, think about it. As real estate investors, when we buy houses that have boarded up windows, that maybe, like the hurricane just came through a few weeks ago here in the Carolinas, right? And we're seeing a lot, and we're getting people calling about houses that got clipped by a tree and the roof is damaged, and it was a vacant house or it was a rental property. Like those are motivated sellers. Well, a traditional lender isn't going to want a 100-year oak tree laying on the roof when they go to fund that deal. They're gonna be like, we can't do this. They got to take care of that tree before we fund this opportunity. Whereas I could go to a private money lender like Nick, and I could say, hey Nick, here's the numbers, here's the opportunity, here's all the information about myself, here's my business model, and I would prove my case to Nick, and Nick would say, yeah, no problem. You got removing that tree in your repair budget, Noah? Absolutely. Okay, fantastic, done. When do you need the money? It's a little bit of a different conversation, right? Which is good. All right, cool. So let's talk about this. Let's get a roll call here. Let's get a roll call. Let's see. Type in the chat box if you are a borrower or if you are a lender. Let's see what we got. And you can be both, by the way. Go ahead and type them in. Hey, Angie's on. What's up, Angie? All right, both, lender, borrower, 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 both, lender, lender, borrower. I love it. I love it. So we got lots of both. We've got lots of both. The lenders are not mythical creatures. They do exist. They do exist. And I assure you, there are a lot of borrowers on here. I see these names of some people who are doing great things within real estate. So for my lenders that are looking for good borrowers out there, they are also not mythical people. They are real, I assure you. And they're in Private Money Club. They are in Private Money Club. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what Private Money Club is. And I'm going to bring Nick on here in about 30 seconds. But before I do that, inside Private Money Club is a platform, right? It's a community, and it's where borrowers can meet lenders, lenders can meet borrowers. You could post your deals, things like this. There's live events, there's online events, all different kinds of ways to get help and coaching and do. But there's a couple different options, and I am a big believer that everyone on this call right now, I see 104. That number is going up and down, up and down. 104 people. I believe all 104 people on this call should be some sort of member of Private Money Club. If that person is serious about real estate investing or putting their money to work at nice rates of return secured by real estate. If that's you, you need to be a member some type of way. So how many of you are premier members of Private Money Club right now? Right? You're premier member, type premier in the chat box. I know a lot of you I recognize your names, but if you could type Premier or just say, yeah, you could say yes if you want. James, what's going on, man? All right, cool. And here they come. All right, cool. Oh, I love it. We got the founder, Colleen. Hello, Colleen. Good to see you. The OG, the original gangster. I love it. Welcome, welcome to the party. Brenda says, I'm not sure. All right, cool. There's also an option here. So everyone has the capability of creating a free membership within Private Money Club. Now, there's some restrictions, some messaging limitations and things like that. Nick, can you talk about that a little bit today? What's the difference?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, yeah, with the free member, you're not able to engage in the deals, and you're not going to be able to respond to requests from lenders and or borrowers.
Okay.
But you can see that there's real deals there. You can run the numbers in real time, know that there's money to be made. And there's also a lot of educational resources there available to you as well. But definitely, when the rubber hits the road, there's quite a few advantages to the Premier membership. But just starting out, it's better to have a free than nothing for sure.
Got it. Yeah, and I would recommend that for anyone that's just like, I have no idea what Private Money Club is, but this sounds really good. Go create a membership right now. And Nick, I'm gonna stop my share and ask you to share your screen. Are you ready?
Absolutely, yeah. I'll get it up and running. I'll get walking through the platform.
Okay, yeah. So this is cool. So I think we can use this also as a good like education and learning lesson as well, where if you show them how to post a deal or do, I can actually come in and say, yeah, like what's the benefits of this? Like how can a person use this in a way that's going to help them out?
Okay, perfect. So, as everyone can see, this is the Private Money Club platform. This is your dashboard, which is basically the shortcuts to getting around the site. I mean, you've got the find people over here, which is going to take you. Everything here is pretty much going to take you to these tabs over here. But let's really get into it. What everybody's on here for, and that's the deals. The deals tab is basically where borrowers are pitching deals and lenders can get on and shop for deals. And I mean, and they're all up to date. You can sort them from oldest to newest. You can look up funded deals. As a borrower, a lot of people talk to me, well, Nick, how do I know how to market my deal? Well, you can actually go to deals that have been funded and kind of see what's been working verbiage wise for other people. How are they marketing themselves?
I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could do that.
And also with building your team, because like you said, a team is a massively important thing. Once you get your team built, maybe you don't know what deals to look for. So you can also go on here and kind of work backwards. All right, well, what are lenders looking to lend on? What do they prefer? Short term, long term, and kind of work backwards. So when you do go out and you're driving for dollars, looking for the best deal, what you think is the best deal might not be the best deal for the lender. So kind of get what the lenders are looking for, which is going to give you a more focused search on what deals to go out and acquire to market to these lenders, to just some options. So on here, and also with deals, I mean, I've seen stuff on here from 6% to 35% interest offered to lenders, and deals as short as 1 month up to 7 years. So there's something on here for everybody and everything in between. So you can imagine if you're doing 90-day to 6 month deals and you're averaging 12 to 15%, which is the average. Imagine that over the year. I mean, it's a good return on your investment. So that's the deal section more or less. Now the Learn portal, which is phenomenal because this is where you've got all the tools, the documents, which are also downloadable, available to you, such as our man Stephen Nagy. So we've got downloadable tools, property specification sheets, sample mortgages, joint venture agreements, as well as the perfect loan proposal, which is incredibly solid. Downloadable, put in your information, run it by your lawyer, and you guys are up and running with some of the documents. Also, we've got a legal corner here, which is phenomenal because we're it's super important to us to have you guys educated, and we want you to be compliant as well. So this is obviously all of our content related to compliance, making sure that everything's being done above bar, making sure that you guys are educated and informed, because the more educated you are, the more successful you're going to be and the safer your deals are going to be.
A lot of that legal corner too, even though it's posted by Andrew, it's written by attorneys, correct? Isn't that right?
Yeah, it is. We had one of the top law firms that work with private money lending work with us, and they kind of put this together for us to provide to the clients to make sure that they are compliant and make sure that they are above bar. Everything's that you're safe. I mean, the more informed you are in this, the safer you're going to be. Because mistakes, as you know, in real estate can be costly, and we are here to help you eliminate those mistakes or minimize at all cost those mistakes.
Yeah, I see people making some mistakes a lot of times, and lots of times folks don't know that they're doing it, right? There are like compliance things and I was always taught, hey, we got to make sure we're not using the words like guaranteed.
Yeah, you
You
don't
know,
know what you don't know, and it's little things like that that can really get you in trouble.
has anyone, has anyone seen a post that says guaranteed interest rate of this? And look, sure, things are going to be written in promissory notes and in contract of what that looks like, but when you start using stuff like that, especially on platforms like Facebook or something, it's like, you really got to be careful. Make sure you're not, making the mistake of saying things like that you just shouldn't be saying, right? So
Exactly.
those,
You
those
need to know
articles.
what to say, how to say it, and say this, don't say that. Just there's minor verbiage can keep you out of trouble or get you in trouble. And that's something you guys would definitely all learn in the accelerator program with Noah. They cover that. That's as well as the documents you need to make sure you're safe, also what to say and what not to say.
I've
It's a
got a question in the chat box about documents. It says, because we're going to get to this and cover this. So, like, guys, the way I teach, and I've always been adamant about this. If you've been on the calls, you've seen this, right? So, we want to make sure anytime we're lending money on a real estate deal that we're asking for the mortgage, we're asking for a promissory note, we're going to be asking for personal guarantees as well, because we should be lending to an entity of some sort, like LLC or S Corp or something like that. We're not lending to an individual. That's really important for a lot of reasons, and making sure, what was it, promissory note, mortgage, insurance, personal guarantees. And then I have Albert in the asking a question here. He says, is it necessary to notarize the four documents? Well, I imagine, Albert, you're talking about the promissory note, the mortgage. Those should be notarized. I've seen people do it where they just sign it. I would have it notarized. All of this stuff should be done with your real estate attorney, with at your title company, escrow agent, things like that, done by the real estate professional. So why wouldn't you just have someone notarize it there? I think sometimes when people get in trouble, it's when there's no attorney involved, or they're wiring directly to the borrower as opposed to using the professionals to help you with all of this stuff. So Albert's question, is it necessary to notarize the documents? I would absolutely have everything notarized, 100%.
Yeah, better to have it done than better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
100%. 100%.
So yeah, so like I said, this is just the legal corner. I mean, this is just information to keep you guys safe and informed and educated. We also have all the ancillary courses aside from being a private money lender and borrower. You do get discounts on all these as well, being a premier member. Which you get into Noah's phenomenal accelerator program. You get into his wife's Christy Harris's amazing mobile home training. And these actual certifications, these are actually getting included for people signing this year, grandfathered in. You don't want to miss that opportunity. We also got information on the Mike Puglisi and his partner Mike, bus tours in Macon, Georgia. They guys are taking you out and showing you things live, as well as we got the Money Tank event coming up in November, which is a huge asset. Great place to make deals happen. Now, our blog section is something it's a few things, but it's another marketplace. I mean, it's a great opportunity to get more information, educate yourself, decentralized finance, due diligence, empowerment, create generational wealth, just tons of information here available for you guys. But here's one of the obviously the main reason you guys are here is the Connect portal. This is how you find your lenders and borrowers. And it couldn't be any easier. All right, well, I'm a borrower, but I'm looking for a lender that can lend me 50 to 100K. Boom. Everyone here that can lend you 50 to $100,000 and just go through. I mean, and I don't, and not just connect with them, but if you've got a deal ready, connect with them and then private message them that deal. Get more eyes on your deal, because maybe they're not looking at the deals portal every day. So we get on here, how to utilize these things. I mean, how to make your deals complete. And then I tell people, all right, well, you can also filter this. Maybe I want people that have lent 50 to 100K, but have been using Private Money Club the longest. So I sort it by the oldest members. And these are people that have been using the platform the longest that can lend me that money, which isn't always the case, but more than likely these people have more deals under their belt. Maybe their systems are more streamlined, but you can utilize it how you want to utilize it, is what I'm saying. And vice versa for the borrowers. I'm a lender. I want to lend. I need to lend this money out. I need to make money. I want to make 15% on my deal. I can lend 50 to 100K, and people that are looking to borrow that money. So it's super easy, user friendly. Our public forum here is a nice thing. It's also where you can add in, look, 13.33%, 4-month lend. I mean, look, you're doing that three times a year, that's a pretty solid return over the year if you think about it. All types of opportunity on here for you guys, and it couldn't be more user friendly. In addition to that, also access to every third Thursday of the month. Chris and his power team actually do a 2 hour long coaching call, more or less, where they deep dive into the private money lending strategy as well as present opportunities. These are things you don't want to miss. And here,
Well,
uh,
hold on, real quick, Nick, because there's some real good stuff here, and in the chat box too. Like, I know Brian is asking for those of you that are Premier members, is the yearly cost worth it? And there is more than enough deal. Is there more than enough deal flow to make more than your yearly fee? And I think we'll talk about. I'll let you talk about the subscription amount and things like that. It's a couple $100 a month. I don't know, a
yeah,
couple thousand bucks a year or whatever to join in the club. But let me get into this real quick. Patrick says yes. So if you are a member and you've lent out and you're making money with your money, tell Brian, tell him, say, yeah, this is my experience. I know for a fact there are people on this call right now that I've done deals with. You just popped up some lenders there. There are some familiar faces there of someone that I've done a deal with as a borrower. Like I'm the borrower in these transactions, and I will tell you the relationships that I've made with the people that are just on this call. Like I see some familiar names. I like to think I won't ask you to raise your hand and say, yeah, I did a deal with Noah, but what I like to think that it was worth it to meet one another. Like I look at this as wow, like I now have two or three lenders just from in the chat and on the page here that I'm excited to use over and over and over again, right? And it's not just a one and done type of thing. One of the lenders that we worked with recently that's on this call here, I think it was right around $100,000 loan, maybe a little bit more. And I think we paid her a 10% annualized interest rate, and the deal was right around 6 or 7 months. So you guys do the math on that, right? And then what was cool is I know that they are a great person to work with. So what's happening? This is a relationship based business. So I'm saying, hey, I know this person does really good in the business. They might be worth having a conversation with to see if they'd make a great borrower for you in your lending business, right? And so for me, I can tell you, yeah, 100%, this has been fantastic. And it's not going to happen overnight, right? Here's my advice. Like, yes, there is this beautiful members directory. There's webinars, there's coaching calls, but for the folks that are active in the community, it's going to be much simpler, much easier for you to connect with people by showing up, right? Showing up to those Thursday coaching sessions with the Premier members, hopping on the webinars, making sure your name's familiar, actually messaging people and saying, hey, I'd love to have a cup of coffee with you over Zoom and learn about your real estate investing business and just to see if it's a good fit, right? So it is going to take some work. There's no magic pill, there's no magic button or anything like that. But, I like Colleen's comment here. I do deals with the same borrowers repeatedly. They have a proven track record, and I've also have worked with first timers. I think that's cool. So what's cool about this question, and just from my experience, Brian, is that how many people do you need to meet, right? So and I do this in my coaching program. What are your goals? If you have X amount of dollars that you want to put to work, and how many deals can you put that money into at the same time? Is it one deal? Is it two deals? Is it three deals? Are you putting it in markets where the price points are higher, so all your funds are in one deal at a time? Are you putting it in markets where price points are lower, so maybe you have two or three, and you kind of diversify your portfolio a little bit around the country with different types of real estate strategies? Everyone's going to be a little bit different, but you might only need 4 or 5 people that are your bread and butter, that are your golden geese, that are going to be your money makers for you, right? Same thing with the borrowers. As a borrower, for me, it's like, hey, I'm going to have as many conversations as I can with people. I'm going to find the right people to work with. In my market, I'm just going to give an example. I buy houses for 100,000, put 50 into them, and let's just say $200,000 or less is usually my like typical loan amounts. Well, if I have the goal of doing 10 houses this year, fix and flips, and every deal takes 200,000 on average, in my mind, my goal is $2 million. So if I can create relationships with enough people that are excited, and I don't like to use the word raise, but I'm going to say account for right? I got one lender that's got 500,000, one lender that's got 100, one that's got 200, one that does this. And I get that 2 million mark, I'm done. I don't need 37 people, right? I just got to find my five, right? I got to find my golden geese. And I got to be a golden goose for those people too, right? So they're in here, right, Nick? They're in here.
Absolutely, they're in here, and you're right. I mean, you will find, and lenders find borrowers that they love working with. They don't want to let them go. As soon as they get their money back, go find me another one. Go find me another one, and vice versa. I mean, borrowers find great lenders. Maybe they find lenders that prefer to lend on commercial. They get another lender that likes to lend on multifamily or residential or lots. Get somebody that likes to lend on every specific type. So when you're out there, you've got more options to get deals under contract because then you have a lender that matches everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man. I love it. I love it.
Your real estate business lives and dies by the network and the connections that you make. I mean, after all, your network, well, it's your net worth. That's what you always heard, right? If that's an area where you desire improvement, well, Private Money Club, it's for you. PMC saves you precious time and money by bringing the real estate world, well, right to you, right in the palm of your hand. So get in on the action like so many others have by going to privatemoneyclub.com and sign up.
Yeah, and great feedback from everyone in the chat too. Yeah, keep the questions coming. I love it. I love it. All right, so this is kind of the tour, Nick. What else you got for us? What else do you recommend people checking out?
Well, I mean, like you were talking about the webinars. This is where you also meet a lot of people. Like Noah's brought people on, Stephen Nagy on our Money Club Mondays. So if you guys are interested in enrolling in any of these events, you just go over to the events tab once you set up your free membership, scroll down and register for them, just like you did the Quickstart training here with Noah today. We've got one with Stephen Nagy on Mondays. We've got these down here, which are actually more related to people that are doing the infinite banking concept through the money multiplier, using their whole life policies to invest in. So we've got information on everything because a lot of those things go hand in hand. And a lot of people don't know those are options as well. But taking advantage of all the resources, and you're right, it's not overnight. You need to build the community. You got to make the contacts, and you've got to fulfill on what you're wanting to do.
Scroll over to the Money Club Mondays. So one of the things that I love about this company, and I look, I've been a part of a lot of different real estate clubs, groups, coaching programs, and things like this on both sides as a coach and as a student, as a client. I have not seen ever before Money Club. I have never seen a webinar that's dedicated to people sharing their loan opportunities. And so with Money Club Monday, what Money Club Monday is, so for Premier members, it's just for Premier members can share to the group, Nick, how many people are in Private Money Club, would you say? Not that everyone's on the webinar, but like, is there a number? I know it's a couple thousand, right? Like active.
It's in the thousands, and it's growing daily because there's very few platforms like this where you're given the right information, you have the right support. It's high caliber, like-minded people these aren't curious, these are serious people. So I mean, if you're serious and want to make it happen, there's not too many places that exist like this.
So with Money Club Mondays, it's hosted by one of the godfathers of the PMC, Stephen Nagy, and Stephen Nagy gets on there and says, "All right, who's got a deal?" And Premier members can present. Now, what's cool is there's going to be, I don't know, anywhere. I've been on there before where it's 30 people. I've been on there where there's 130 people. And anytime that I've had a deal that I've promoted on Private Money Club. So here's what I would do if I was you and on this call and you had a deal and you're looking for funding or think about this for the future, I would post my deal just like Nick showed you in the deal section. I would then post, go ahead and show that if you want, Nick.
Yep,
so I would post it there. And when I post my deal, I would have all the information about the project. Maybe it's PowerPoint slides, maybe it's my perfect loan proposal, maybe it's comps, repair estimate. I would attach it and have it there so people can click on it, learn about it, right? Yep, I'd use some, if I didn't have any.
Right here, actually walk you through how to post a deal, how to delete a deal. So we should tell you exactly how to do it.
Yep, and then I would go and I would post in the forum as well because I want to make sure I got as many eyes on it as possible. So I'd post new deal, just posted, go check it out. Da, da, da. I might send people to my website from the forum. So I've got it posted in the deal section. I've got it posted in the forum section. And then once that's happened, let's get on Money Club Monday, where now I'm presenting to the community. I'm taking the reins on a Zoom call with serious real estate investors and lenders, and I'm presenting my opportunities. Now, here's what's cool too. The money, and this was my experience. So do a good job presenting. Actually, I don't even care if you do a good job. If you're uncomfortable presenting, just go present. Like the more you do it, the better you're gonna get at it, and the more comfortable you're gonna get. But then what's cool is on Money Club Mondays, it gets recorded and then sent out to everyone that's on their YouTube channel. So I've posted deals before, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, someone says, "Hey, I saw your YouTube video. Is this one still available?" I thought that was like so cool. I don't know where else a person can get this many eyes on their lending opportunities with the right type of people,
That's
right?
the key. That's the key, with the right type of people.
Yep. So, all right, cool. I love it, guys. Any questions about this? Well, we got Nick on the line. Stacy said, "As a realtor, can I present listings? I am marketing." I don't know if it's necessarily used. Um, you know, I've never seen anyone offer listings on here. Nick, have you?
No, because generally to post a deal, you need to have that deal under contract. You need to determine where the closing is going to be held at. Ideally, you want to have your entity set up. So not so much as like an MLS, although I mean, I guess you could private message some of these people and see if some of these investors are lenders are interested in those types of things. But I don't believe it would be you could post that in the deal section.
What I would do, Stacy, if you're like, maybe if you're, I know you're out of South Carolina. I think you said Bluffton, if I'm right. And, maybe you get on the forum and you say, "Hey, I'm looking for everybody down in the low country, South Carolina, that is looking for deals and opportunities. I'd love to connect." I think something like that would absolutely be encouraged, because I know I would click on that, right, and reach out to you. Right. Okay. Cool. 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 All right. Love it. Love it. So, Nick, thanks for the sneak peek, man. Any last words? Like,
Yeah. In terms of people are interested in the cost. Retail, this is $1,497 a year. So you think about it, you do one lending deal, that should definitely be covered. I mean, if you think about it seriously, it's going to cost you more money not to do it than it is to do it. I mean, if you're serious and want to be a borrower and lender and want to get deals done, I mean, think about the value. I mean, the value is it far outweighs the minimal cost of what this is. And I know everybody's not in the financial position, but this really is. Chris makes this affordable for everyone. Tries to make it affordable for everyone. And just know if you do a demo, we can actually get you a discounted cost on that, as well as some of the other courses as well. So reach out to us so we can make that happen for you.
just Nick, put your information in the chat box while we still got you, so nobody's asking me at the
Absolutely, I'll put a link in there.
Cool. And then Ron says, "Where do I get a promo code from? It says it's required for setting up a free demo. Is that right?"
No, there's no. I'll put my link in here, and he can set up a demo with me directly.
Okay.
There we go.
Boom. Yeah, and I'm primarily a borrower, right? I'm still in like the active income phase of my life, and so I'm still trying to flip houses to get those chunks of cash and buy rental properties, and I'm still a landlord. I'm still in that phase of the real estate investing business. But so for everyone that's like the borrower, I'd love to use private money, and I'm thinking about doing this private money club. I'll tell you this, and I'll tell you just what I told a friend of mine from my local community yesterday. That should be an eye opener. Like if I were to use a hard money lender to fund my deals, number one, I'm not going to get all of the money that I need. I'm going to have to bring large chunks of probably 20%, 15% to the table for all the real estate deals that I'm doing. If the average price point in my market's 200,000, and I got to bring at least 10% down payment to the table, that's 20 grand. If I've got 3 properties going at the same time, that's $60,000 of my cash that is in those deals, and it's tied up. It's not in rental properties, or it's not being lent out. So the way I kind of look at it is I would much rather prefer to work with a private lender where it makes sense for both parties and they're comfortable lending all the money that I need for the purchase price plus the repair costs, so that I can take those funds and go buy more rental properties, so on and so forth. And lots of times with the hard money lending, you're going to be charged origination fees, admin fees, points, and all these different things, and that can really add up. There's a local hard money lending company in my area here in South Carolina, and they charge 3% just to do the loan. That's not the interest rate. That's just to wire the funds. So if I've got a $200,000 loan opportunity and it's I got to pay that's $6,000. I got to pay $6,000 every time I do a deal. If I'm borrowing $200,000 in just the points. So for people that are like, well, is it worth it? I would say it's absolutely worth it to, it's all about the relationships though. Like, if you meet one person or two people that you can do business with, whether you're a borrower or lender, and you guys can make money together for the rest of however long you want to do it, man, I think it definitely is worth the investment. I had a friend, I say friend, we've never met, but we're Facebook friends, and we're real estate investors in the same market here in Columbia, South Carolina. And one of my friends, his name's Peter. He owns a company that does dumpsters, Liberty Containers. His name's Peter Schvetz in Columbia, South Carolina. Shout out to Liberty Containers. And he referred a friend. His name's Jordan. And Jordan, he said, Jordan, you got to connect with Noah because he does a lot with private money and he does stuff with the Private Money Club. And I talked to him yesterday via text, and he's like, can you tell me a little bit about it? I was like, well, what's your goals? And he's like, well, I've got a couple different funds. One of my funds buys rental properties. One of my funds does this. I'm like, how long is it take? He's like, I've raised in my fund 650,000, and we didn't get into the schematics of like, what it pays out and how it pays out and all of this stuff. But the fund owns 10 rental properties, which I thought was kind of a neat way of doing it. And he's like, in the past, he made it seem like it was a while. He's like, I've raised about 650,000 for my fund, and I was like, I am very confident that that person could hop on a Money Club Monday, explain their business model, because they're a very experienced real estate investor he's got a great partnership. His partner is he does securities, like that's what he does for a living. He's an attorney that does securities. So they've got it set up, everything's good, and I'm very confident that you would be able to put together what you're looking for. You're just not fishing in the right pond. And I think that's a lot of like what private money lending is. Like, you're talking to people that want to hear what you have to say, as opposed to going to all these real estate clubs and talking to family and friends, and talk to the people that want to do it, right? And that's a big part of what Private Money Club is. And so it's been great for me so far. If you guys want to schedule some time with Nick to learn more about it, or sign up for a course or whatever you want to do, we have like really good real estate investing opportunities and things like that coming up, and events coming up. And but if you click on the link, Nick can help you out. Schedule a call with him and go from there. So thanks, Nick, for being here, man.
No, my pleasure. Thank you so much for the opportunity to explain. No, I appreciate it, and keep on rocking it, man. You come a long ways, and I love seeing your progress and success.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you and everything that you do, and I can't wait to see you again one day in person.
Absolutely, man.
All right, man. I'm gonna take back over the reins of the share, because we gotta practice our elevator pitches, because we always got to practice, right? That's what this is all about. I can't just say one thing and do another. So let's get into it, guys. We still got 17 minutes to train. Are you excited? Give me a big oh yeah in the chat box. Are you excited? Tonight I have hockey practice with my 10-year-old hockey team, and I just love making them go skate up and down the ice, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And they always complain, Coach Noah, why do we got to do this? But they don't complain during the game when they're flying around, right, and skating past people, right? And that's what we're doing here. We're practicing it. So we might practice some of the same things every single week, but hopefully you're flying around when it comes to money, right, in your real estate business. So for those of you, I always show this slide before we dive into things, because I don't like to show it at the end, because what if you got to sign off, right? I know it's the middle of the day for some folks. So here's some action steps. This whole webinar is always about taking action and doing something. Let's build momentum off of everything that we've learned and taken action on so far. So pick one. Whatever you haven't done yet, pick it. Make that your one. All right. So create your PMC profile, schedule a blueprint call with Nick. If you are already in Private Money Club and you haven't taken the certification courses yet, they're free with the Premier memberships. There's a borrower course, a lender course. Take it. Right. I set some time aside and knocked mine out, and it was a great refresher. Learned a little bit too. And what I did is I set the speed with which the teacher talks at like 1.5. So if you got a like busy schedule like I did, like just set the speed at 1.5, you'll crank this thing out in 60 minutes or less. Right. Great way to do it. Great way to do it. We've got a Money Tank event coming up in Charlotte. It's at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is a live in-person event. I think they might be doing virtual too. Nick, are we doing virtual? Do we have virtual options for these?
Yes, we do. For those that cannot travel, we can definitely help you out with the virtual ticket.
Love it. So we've got a virtual option, in-person option. If you can make it in person, like if you're in the Charlotte area, if you're in South Carolina, Stacy, you got to get to the Motor Speedway. Let's go. I'll see you in Charlotte. I'm just gonna I'm gonna put that out there. Let's make it happen. My wife has a new mobile home take action challenge coming up. So Christy, she's right behind me here, right? My wife, she teaches people how to invest in mobile and manufactured homes. Now, for my lenders on the call as well, maybe you're looking for smaller price point opportunities with your loan amounts, right? We're always taught, hey, you got to be first position. If you're not first, you're last, right? Chris Naugle says that all the time. If you're not first, you're last. But sometimes it's hard to do first position notes and mortgages because of the amount of money that you have to work with. But what if you could lend on a manufactured home, on land? And what if I told you that manufactured home could qualify for financing? There's this amazing world of manufactured homes. I'm not going to get into it. That's not my thing, but that's Christy's thing. And we love private money lenders for the mobile and manufactured homes. Why? Because a lot of hard money lenders don't do it. There's an opportunity here, right? Where there's a problem, there's always a solution. And so don't sleep on it. That's coming up. And then we've got the bus tour where the two investors, Mike and Mike, that Nick was talking about, down in Atlanta, Georgia, take you through, show you the ropes, boots on the ground type of training. If you have any questions on these things, just hit up Nick and he can help you get enrolled or answer any questions that you have. Our next accelerator class is coming up November 4th. We limit this to 20 people. I'm not sure where we're at now, but I imagine it's getting pretty close. If you like some one-on-one help working with me, we do twice a week for 4 weeks, 90 to 120 minute sessions, rocking and rolling, helping borrowers and lenders become credible, work on your craft, right, and really approach doing this business the right way. One of the things that Nick, you hit on this. I was going to show some of the tools today, property specification sheet, things like this is in Private Money Club. I highly recommend y'all check these resources out. I just had them here as a reminder that if you're serious about presenting deals and working with people, like you got to have your house in order. You got to have some organization. You can't just make a post and then say, let's talk about it on the phone. We need hard data. We need at a minimum the property specification sheet filled out. So there's a PSA, there's a public service announcement, right? Do your best to come off as a pro. This is a great resource in Private Money Club that you can use. All right, so let's get into the elevator pitch. We've got 12 minutes to practice. And I'm trying to look at my chat box here. Okay, cool. My mouse, I don't know if you guys, has this ever happened to you? Like my mouse on my computer, I can't see it. I don't know why. So I have to move my mouse. And hopefully like the things pop up so I can see where my mouse, okay, but we're good. We're good for right now. I love it. I'm interested in the mobile home challenge. Awesome. Brenda, click on that link in the chat that Nick posted and he can send you the information about the mobile home challenge. It is awesome. It is awesome. All right, cool. So here we go. Private money loan. What is it? So right now we're practicing elevator pitches. I don't like to do scripts. All right. I know lots of times people are like, what's the script? And I like to teach principles when it comes to this. And I feel like if we can master the principle, we can master the moves, we don't have to sound so robotic, right? So if I wrote a script, it might not come off right when you say it, right? I don't know if you're the same way as I am about this, but when I teach the elevator pitch, here's what we're thinking. Each of these next slides, consider it like a principle. Consider it a talking point. And if we're keeping it in the context of an elevator, think of each of these next slides as a floor in a tall building, right? In a 4 or 5 story building, all right? Think of it like a floor. And how I like to teach the elevator is I like to make sure that I'm not the one pushing the button to go up to the next floor, to talk about the next talking point. I like to teach it where it's the lender that's pushing the buttons. I want to learn more about that. Beep. Let's go up. Let's talk about the next thing, right? So how I teach it, when you hear elevator pitch, sometimes you think, all right, elevator pitch, it's that means it's 30 seconds or less. You know what? If you get real good and you're talking to the right person and that person is the one pushing the button quickly to learn more about it, maybe it could take 30 seconds. Maybe it could take 3 minutes. But what if I told you that to really do this right and to set up good relationships, it should probably take 3 weeks or 3 months or 3 years? I know some of you might be thinking, what if I got a deal? I need funding right now. Well, ideally, here's what we're doing. I'm constantly having conversations with people about the topic of private money. And while I'm having the conversations with people about the topic of private money and we're getting in the elevator together, I'm constantly marketing for new real estate deals, right? It's like the chicken and the egg. Which came first? I don't know. Same thing in real estate. Is it the money or that deal? Which came first? I don't know. We're doing them at the same time, right? And if you're in the fix and flip business like I am, you're also having conversations with contractors and real estate agents, right? And everybody else that's on your team, right? This is always happening. This is always happening, all right? So some of the best relationships that I've made with folks, it's taken a long time to get there, is what I'm trying to tell you. You might meet them here in Private Money Club, but don't rush it. You don't have to rush it. When they're ready, boop. If you come off as pushy or like a used car salesman or, you know, Al Bundy at the shoe store or something like that, you don't want to come off like that, right? That's not who we are. We can do better than that. We are here to serve. We are here to provide. People have problems and we're listening to those problems and we're providing the solutions. What's a person? Let's talk about that real quick. If I'm talking to lenders, let's say the person has never been a private money lender before, and I'm excited to introduce them to what private money lending is. What would you say is a potential private money lender's biggest problem? Type it in the chat box. What's a private money lender's biggest problem? What do you think? What are people's problems? Why even do private money as a lender? Why even bother? Trust. I like it. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Good borrowers. Fear. All right. Not knowing the borrowers. What do you think their biggest problem is? Like, let's not even get into private money. Let's not even get into private money. Like, I met someone the other day and they inherited some funds. They had an aunt that passed away and they inherited an IRA and they inherited some money. I have a lender, actually. I'll just use this guy as an example. He inherited an IRA and he inherited some cash. He's got money in a savings account and he's got money in an IRA. What do you think his biggest problem is? Taxes? Not knowing how to best invest the money? Yeah, what are the interest rates right now in banks, in savings accounts, and CDs? Knowledge is his biggest problem. I like it. Maybe 2%, very low. See, you know, lots of times when we're talking to people, what's a person's problem? I meet people all the time. They're like, I've got money. I don't know what to do with it. Right? More money, more problems. Right? More money, more problems. I got to put this money to work. That's a big problem. So before we get into the risk about the borrower and things like this, the core issue here is, I know I should be doing something with this, but I don't know what. I know real estate is a great avenue for people to make money, but I'm busy. I have a career. I have kids. I have all these responsibilities. I don't know how to pick up a hammer and fix a house, right? But I know I should be doing something. That's the problem, right? That's the problem at the core, right? So when we go into the conversations and we're talking to lenders or potential lenders, I'm going in there, I'm thinking, okay, what problems can I solve? And then when I get to those problems of fear, trust, and all those other things, I'm going to solve those problems too, right? But right now, the big problem, we're not even in the elevator yet, is I'm going to figure out how I can solve this person's money problem, if I can, right? So private money, what is private money loan? It's a loan secured by real estate. A loan secured by real estate. Who is a private money lender? We talked about this, a person. So lots of times when you start introducing this topic to people, it's going to be new. So how can I put it in context where someone can relate to it? So I like talking to people and saying, hey, do you own your own house? And they're going to say, yeah, I own my own house. Did you get a mortgage to buy the house? Yes, I got a mortgage to buy the house. When you bought the house and you got the mortgage, and did you sign a big stack of papers? Yep, absolutely. Did you have to call your insurance company and let them know that you got a mortgage on the property and tell them the bank and everything? Yeah. It's the same exact process. So when I explain this to people and I tell them, just like a bank, and I say the same thing you did with Wells Fargo, we're going to do for you. That's what we do for people. Just like a bank. We give them a mortgage, promissory note, personal guarantee. We list them on the insurance, right? Just like a bank would want. And then now you start to see the light bulbs go off, right? The smiles, their eyes get big. They're like, oh, okay. And then I'm going to show them the money, right? What is a person's biggest problem? Probably they're not making any money with their money. So what I like to do a spread. So I'm going to go, hey, 8 to 12%. Now this is my business. So my advice to you guys is figure out what you want to do and what's right for you and your business. Okay. If you're borrowing, figure it out. If you're a lender, figure this out. If you're a lender, figure it out. Don't just be like, I always charge 15%. I would have a spread. I'd say I lend anywhere from 10 to 15%. Each loan opportunity is unique. If I'm a borrower, I'm going to let them know, hey, I borrow anywhere from 8 to 12%. Annualized interest for my fix and flips. Each loan opportunity is unique. Have a spread. Start the conversation. Figure out how you can do win-win for both parties, right? And each deal is unique. There's some deals where I can only do 10% for it to make sense for us. There's some deals where I can do 12% and it will make sense for us. There's some deals where I have to go much lower, maybe because it's more of a long-term buy and hold, right? So just like a bank, Christine Stokes gets it. That's why she's so good at this, right? That's why she's so good at this. So each loan opportunity is unique. Figure out what you're going to pay, right? And then practice, okay? So I call this the core four. So every single time we do a deal, at a minimum, we got to talk about this. So this isn't the end all be all. There's still boxes to check, questions to ask, things that we're going to want to see and do. But for conversation purposes, for pushing the button to go up the next step, here's what's going to happen. They're going to see the interest rates and people are going to be like, whoa, you pay 12%? That's crazy. 12% is high, right? Average everyday people who don't invest in real estate, they're taught by the news and Facebook that 7% is high. You shouldn't be paying 7% for a mortgage, right? But in the real estate business, because these are short-term loans and the type of risk that's involved, that's what we do. We pay crazy amounts of interest. So they might be in the mindset that, is this too good to be true? Is this too good to be true? I know Nick said that, hey, he's seen people on there advertising 33%, 20%. I think that's too good to be true. When I see something like that, I'm like, that person's crazy for paying that much interest, right? You need to be doing extra due diligence, right? And that's where my mindset is. So I can only imagine what people think of when they hear, if they've never been around the space, they're thinking that we tell them, hey, we pay up to 12%. So how do we legitimize this? How do we do this the right way and show them that we're doing this the right way? And you start explaining, how we protect them. If you want to get great at borrowing money, learn how to protect your lenders. So what do? We offer them a promissory note, a mortgage or deed of trust, personal guarantee, and we list them on the insurance. Just like all of these things are just like a bank would want, right? And get great at talking about this. I'm pretty good at this because I talk about it every single week. Probably 30 times a week I say those words, right? I probably said it 30 times just doing this webinar already, right? So practice this. And if I'm a lender, I want this. All right, all the lenders on the call right now, we want these things, right? What makes real estate lending great is the collateral. But if we don't have a promissory note, the mortgage, we don't have them recorded in the county where the property is, we don't have the lien recorded, that's a problem, right? So we want these things because that's what private money lending is, just like a bank would do, And here's the big thing, right? This is kind of like no-brainer, icing on the cake. What separates us from the handshake deal or whatever is that all of the documents are prepared and recorded by a licensed professional. Here in South Carolina, we use real estate attorneys for our closings. So I'm going to make sure that we do that for our lenders. And if a lender needs a referral, they need help finding someone, I can refer them to someone here in South Carolina that understands. They can use the same attorney that we're using for our closing if they're comfortable with that. And I'm going to make sure that everything was recorded for my lenders, right? This is what we do. So it's one thing to show them the money, but we got to make sure that we're working with professionals here, right? So those are 4 of the floors in the elevator pitch. There's no right or wrong, but the idea here is to leave people interested and intrigued and to want to learn more. They want to push the button to go to the next step to hear more about what it is that we do. And once I do this, usually what happens is people go back to the money. So I was like, yeah, we pay anywhere from 8 to 12%. We provide you with the same things banks want: mortgage, prom note, insurance, personal guarantee, so on and so forth. Everything is done by real estate professionals. We use this such and such company here in Columbia to do our closings, and I can refer you to them to help you with the paperwork. At that point, people are like, okay, let's get back to the money part. And when the conversation goes to, all right, I want to learn more, I want to talk more about the money, tell me more about, do you have a deal now? At that point, the only thing that we're doing is scheduling a meeting. At that point, we're talking, we're in an elevator, we're at our kids' sports game, we're messaging each other on Private Money Club. At that point, we set up a one-on-one meeting, right? Let's time block 30 minutes where we can hop on a phone call or a Zoom call and get to know one another and start building the relationship of what it likes to work with one another, right? All right, super cool. So it's 2:02, guys. Hope this was a good session. Thanks, Nick, for hopping on, my man. I'm getting ready to do a loan. Can you show the 4 points again? I was working. All right, yeah, we can go back. Are you lending, Herbert? Are you lending or borrowing? Lending or borrowing? All right, we're gonna save Herbert. Herbert, are you lending or borrowing? Type. Okay, cool. Lending. All right, so this is what we want. All right, I want to have a promissory note. It's going to outline the terms of the loan. Depending on the state that you're in, you're going to want a mortgage or a deed of trust. You might be lending maybe you're lending the whole amount, right? So if the person's buying the property and you're lending them the funds to purchase the property, do the repairs, you're gonna want a first position lien for that mortgage. Okay, so you gotta make sure it's in Florida. Okay, cool. If maybe it's a smaller amount, so you're just lending the repairs, I don't know, that would most likely be a second position. But we got to make sure these documents are recorded, and you got to be lending to an LLC. I'm not an attorney, but I'll tell you right now, there's reasons why hard money lenders companies don't lend to people. They want to see an LLC, an S corp, some sort of entity, because if you're lending to a person, and again, I'm not a real estate attorney, I'm probably over my head here talking about this stuff, but I'll tell you right now, if I were to apply for a loan from a hard money lending company as Noah Harris, they would say no, right? Because they don't want to lend on primary residences. They want to lend on investment properties, right? So you're going to want a personal guarantee, because whoever you're talking to in Florida, you're probably lending to an LLC. So the person that's the managing member of the LLC, whoever's signing that paperwork, make sure they're on the hook for the funds. Okay. And then you want to be listed on the insurance as the lost payee. So make sure they send all this stuff over to you 72 hours before closing if they can. Review it with your attorney. Make sure everything looks good before you wire the funds. All right. Hopefully that helps. And if you guys want to learn about this stuff, if you want to learn more about this stuff, take the accelerator class. Nick put the link in the chat box there. This is what we do. We help people, become great at borrowing and lending, right? I introduce you to different resources and things like that aren't available to the general public. We deep dive into things. And so pick one, make a move. If you don't have a free profile yet, create your free profile. If you haven't taken the courses yet that PMC offers, take the courses. If you haven't been to a live event, we've got a great one coming up in Charlotte at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So the event is actually in the room where the media does interviews for the race car drivers and stuff. So that should be really fun. That's coming up. If you got any questions at all, you can. You're in okay, cool. You're in November. All right, I will see you there. Looking forward to it. All right, cool, guys. I'm signing off. Hope this was a great class. And complete your. Colleen says complete your profile. Don't just create a profile. This is great advice, Colleen. Thank you for bringing this up. Don't create the profile on Private Money Club and then not put a picture, or halfway fill it out, or do one sentence, right? If you're gonna be messaging people and you're representing yourself with your profile. In the accelerator class, we put a lot of effort into making these profiles stand out as a good representation of who you are and how you help people, right? So Colleen is absolutely right. When you create your profile, do a good job. I don't want to click on someone's profile and have it look like a scam or look like a bot or something in PMC. It should reflect who you are as a person, as a business owner, as a real estate investor or as a potential lender, right? So thank you, Colleen, for that advice there. All right, guys, I am signing off. I hope this was an awesome class. If you had a good time, type it in the chat box. My mouse is gone, so I'm going to try to end the webinar here. I'm just going to take a stab at it to see if I can hit the button without using a mouse. There we go. All right, see you next Thursday.